I think it might be difficult for everybody to read, but I think the story is more important than the exact words that we used, so therefore I try to exemplify. First we started with positioning ourselves over 5 years. The details of that can be discussed over lunch, but I think the most important is that none of us sees ourselves exactly within the traditional development sector within 5 years, and there's an advantage to that, which I will come back to later in the discussion. So then we started to think about how will the world look like in 5 years, and we used some flowers to identify our picture of the world in 2019. We thought to start with that it would be a more decentralized world with local hubs concentrated around urban centers and knowledge centers all over the world. The trend is already going on, and we expect that to continue towards 2019. We think that within that situation there will be more self-supply in terms of energy, in terms of resources, in terms of capacities from those decentralized hubs to sustain themselves. And there will also be empowerment of those local hubs, that they think that they find out that they are able by themselves to sustain. So the key words for the world in 2019 is decentralizing and empowering world. Opposite to the centralized and disempowering trend that we have seen in the last century. So that is our future way of thinking. How would we fit in that world in 2019? We use the blue statements to describe that. One of the most important of those statements is that we have to be an expertise center or a network, and I think that relates to the Schwab that you are already have you mentioned. So I think there is complementarity. And another very important statement is that we made is in order to become such a hub, we need to be a fused organization. So we need a successful fusion, fusie in Dutch, to achieve that. Other things is that we want to stick to WASH as a theme to be able to profile ourselves, because as an expertise center you need to know what you are expertised in. We need to have certain products and services to sell to the world. We need to work on a sort of consultancy base. If there's a question from somewhere, we need to provide the answer and be empowered to do that. We want to work on sustainability, of course, like we do already. So the FITS agenda will sustain in our future being. And I think that the word that clusters all of these topics is the WASH Innovation Center, where everything comes together. So maybe we can call it the Schwab. Okay, then maybe most importantly of all, how are we going from 2014 towards this end goal in 2019? We defined a lot of different steps, which are very useful by themselves to look in more detail, but for now I want to highlight the trend. I think one important step to become to a successful fusion is that we keep identifying the added value of the different organizations and how they complement to each other. So there's also a link to what is already said in the first group. We need to work more evidence-based, because if you want to become an innovation center with expertise, you need to know what you're talking about. And another very important trend is that we have to decentralize our focus or our core, that it's not only the Dutch parts who design, but that also locally. Therefore, another link to the first group, locally we need to strengthen our capacity. So to conclude, we wanted to have 2 or 3 words again to sum up our way towards 2019, and again we came to the words of decentralizing and empowering, which matches with the trend of the world. So actually we are doing what the world is doing, so I think that is a good thing. And a third one that we wanted to add was to prepare ourselves, because we have to be sure that a lot has to be done before we end up where we want to be, before we can live our dream. So we have to prepare ourselves well in terms of management and how to structure things before we can reach our goal. Finally, we think that our Wash Innovation Center will be lean and mean as part of the decentralized agenda, and therefore it's good that at least the four of us don't see ourselves in the traditional wash sector, so there's room for others to fill in that lean and mean.
Okay, thanks a lot. So, 4 or 5 words to appreciate this. What do you like?
I like to focus on product development and evidence.
Okay.
I think evidence is extremely important and it becomes more and more important.
Yeah. What else, Jeroen?
I like the franchise model.
Okay.
I like the fresh meat bringing in. I think that's a very good idea. Many of us have been here for a long time. I think they have new ones on board.
Long time. That's about 2 years in this company, isn't it? So yeah. Okay, fresh meat. What else?
Decentralization.
Yeah. Okay.
Innovation.
And innovation. Okay, that's 5. Thanks.